We were here last week this time, so I don't need to recap that. But we're just excited about this game and the opportunity. The CIC games are they're such big rivalry games, and the opportunity to play for a highly coveted trophy and to be able to play a rivalry game. So our guys are excited, and we certainly all are. I think everybody here at the Academy is fired up about this week's game, and it's going to be a tough battle. They've got a good football team, and so it's going to take a great effort.
I'll go ahead and start things off with Rich DeMarco.
Hey, Jeff, what is Commander-in-Chief's Trophy games this second season, I guess, so to speak? What does that mean to you as coach?
The Commander-in-Chief's Trophy is that is a source of pride for our program to have it here and to have had it here, a few times in the last 4 years. That is a tremendous source of pride for us, and we know that the other academies play as hard as they can to try to capture that trophy as well. So, it means a lot to us. I know it means a lot to our players, to this academy, to the United States Army, who we represent. And the bottom line is it's one game. It's a one-game season, and we've got to do a great job of executing and defending the trophy.
Jeff, how do you manage execution and emotion for this week in a game like this?
I think trying to curb the emotion and how that plays into the game is really difficult. These games that we play for the CIC trophy are very emotional. I'm certain it's that way for the guys on the other team. But that doesn't win the game. It's important and it matters, but it doesn't win the game. And what we've got to try to do is get our guys to execute at a really high level and to be able to go into the game and to continue to do that all the way through, hopefully to start the game executing very well in terms of our assignment fundamentals and continue through the game and not allow emotion to distract us from that, which it can. Emotion has the ability to distract us from a lot of things, but hopefully our guys will be able to handle that. And it's our job as coaches, my job to keep that in check. But emotional matter, and so I expect that to be high, and hopefully the execution will be at a high level too.
Thanks, Coach.
Ken Kreitzer.
Afternoon, Coach. Just start by asking you how practice went last week, what you worked on, and what your keys for practice this week preparing for Air Force.
As I just said to Rich, I think the most important thing we can do is play good, sound, fundamental football. And we're not going to come up with a bunch of new plays or new defenses or any of that stuff. The players we have are the players we have, and the schemes that we execute are the ones that we feel are best. So we've got to practice those things and try to execute them very well. And that's what will win the game for us. And I know that the team on the other side is going to be striving to do the very same thing. So we really took it back to basics a lot last week. I mentioned last week that we had planned to do that. So we worked really hard at the fundamentals and kind of got back into some of the things we did in preseason camp that maybe we hadn't touched on as much once we started the season. And so hopefully that'll help us.
Coach, just wanted to ask you what carries over from last year's game, the 10-7 win at Mikey Stadium, where you had the 80-yard, fourth quarter drive. You converted 2 fourth downs in that drive, and then Jacoby Buchanan scored the touchdown to win that game. Then Eric Smith gets an interception right at the end of it to seal it. Anything carry over from that, the confidence of your players going into this week?
The teams that are playing this weekend are two different football teams. We're different than we were a year ago, and they're different than they were. So it's I don't know that there's a lot of carryover. I think in these games, they are such a heated rivalry and such an emotional game that the guys are able to put whatever happened the year before behind them and really try to focus on this year's game. And that's that's true for our team. Our guys know that what happened last year has nothing to do with this coming Saturday. We're going to have to play our very best football and give ourselves a chance to win.
Thanks, Coach.
Charles Grievous.
Good afternoon, Coach. And here we are, November 1st, and some college programs aren't in a position to write their own script in terms of finishing out the 2021 season strong. Example, consideration for a bowl game, if you will. Talk about, have you had any conversations with the team that truly says, hey, listen, guys, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. Bring your A game this Saturday and for the balance of the season?
We try to concentrate on one game, and that's the next one, Charles. I don't know that it benefits us to kind of look out ahead and talk about the possibilities of a season. The most important thing is to just, pardon me, attack the week and try to get prepared for the upcoming game, which is what we're doing in this one. There's enough emotion and enough at stake in this game that we can't concentrate on other things. It'll distract us and it won't do us any good. This is a unique battle that we're getting ready to face, just in terms of who they are and who we are as a program, and what each team does offensively, and the uniqueness of getting prepared for an option offense. So we're not looking ahead in terms of those other things. Our guys know, they're mature enough to know what's out there if we can continue to have success. But there's not a more important game on our schedule than this one right now.
And that's a great segue into my next question, meaning Air Force's offense leads the nation in scoring, but on the flip side of that, their quarterback Daniels has been sacked, I think, 21 times on the season. Is there any philosophy that you bring to the table defensively to kind of have them in passing situation more so than others?
We've got to stop the run first. They're the number one team in the country rushing the football, and they happen to be number 3, I think, in the nation rushing defense or something like that. I mean, they're doing a really good job running the ball and stopping the run. We strive to do that as well, and so if we can defend them against the run, we can stop the run effectively, then I think that helps our chances. I'm sure they approach it the same way. As for the number of sacks and all those things, I frankly don't look at that much at what their statistics are in terms of how many sacks they've given up. That to me is just a byproduct of playing good defense, and if we can force them into some passing situations, hopefully we'll get a pass rush. But I think their quarterback does a really good job, and they've done a really good job as an offense of moving the football and scoring points and winning football games. So we're gonna have to do a really good job of executing and playing good run defense to start off with.
Thanks, Coach.
Ken McMillan.
Hi, Jeff. We talked before the last game about how the offense kind of needed a bounce back, and I think you got that for sure. What about the defense coming off a game where they allowed 70? Are they hyped for a bounce back game?
I don't know if offensively that was necessarily a bounce back. I mean, we did get stopped 3 times, and that was the difference in the game. We stopped them once, and they stopped us 3 times. So we had to punt in the first half. We had the fake field goal that got intercepted for a pick 6, and we had the fumble late in the game. So, I mean, there's certainly things we can do better and need to do better to not be stopped on drives. It's a team game, and you got to do whatever it takes to win. So offensively wasn't quite enough. Defensively, certainly disappointed with giving up all the points we did. I mean, we literally couldn't stop them. The one time that we did stop them in the first half, on 4th down, they got under center and tried to sneak it, and that's probably as much their fault as it was ours. Our guys did a nice job stopping them, but I mean, they got a high-powered offense. That was impressive. And they've been scoring points all year, not like they did against us, but they've been scoring a lot of points. They're a really good football team. So, it's an opportunity to learn. There's certainly not a whole lot of carryover in terms of what we were defending last week to what we're defending this week, but they're still playing blocks and covering receivers, which we've got to do. We've got to do a better job of that. So I know that our players and our coaches were disappointed. And when you get beat like we got beat, it's hard not to take it personal, but that's good. I hope that each guy, and certainly I did, was self-reflect and evaluate and see what we can do better personally and try to help the team be better. So hopefully, we've made some strides here in the last week and a half to get ready for this one.
Other than the fact that this is a CIC game, is there some unique element to this Army Air Force rivalry that you embrace, that you enjoy?
Just the fact that it's a CIC game and that the trophy's at stake. That makes it, to me, that makes it as important as it can be. I don't know that there's not a bigger game we've played so far this year. And this will be the biggest one to this point for sure. So, we want to win the game, and I know they do too. And I'm sure it'll be a hard fought game.
Thanks, Jeff.
Sal, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, can you explain to us what it means that for your program and for the United States Military Academy to have the Commander-in-Chief's trophy in your possession?
It's a source of pride that can't be matched with any other trophy or championship. It is, to me, for what it means to this institution and to this program and the representation that it gives the United States Army. I don't know that there's a trophy or an award that's more highly coveted in college sports than this one, for what it means to us. And I know conference championships and other rivalries and national championships are awfully important and big, but for what it means to us and the 1.3 million people we represent in the United States Army, it's a pretty big deal. So great source of pride. We're glad it's here, and we're going to do everything we can and fight our butts off to keep it here.
Ken McMillan.
Jeff, you mentioned offense earlier. How about the defense for Air Force? What challenge do they bring?
Well, they're a really good defense, and they're really well schemed for this offense. And I feel like each of the academies probably is in a unique position from other schools that were able to square off against these offenses in spring and in preseason camp. And we've got coordinators who have experience defending it and offensive coaches who can walk down to the defensive staff and give input and say, here's things that I see that are issues and might give you problems. And so, they do a really good job of defending this offense. Just look at our games the last few years. They're all low scoring games, and they're doing a great job playing defense this year. They got all those guys back that were there with them a couple years ago that are veteran players, and they're doing a great job. So it's going to be a challenge, and we're going to have to block them and take care of the ball and do the things that have given us success.
I know you weren't ready to talk about the injury situation or the quarterback situation last week. Can you give us any updates this week?
Well, I know you got to ask that, Ken, and sincerely, I appreciate the fact that you got to ask that. You're doing your job, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I spilled the beans and told you how everybody's doing and just their status. I mean, I hope you can appreciate that and for what it means for the other team to prepare for us. So I will tell you that all of our quarterbacks are practicing. They are all out there as they were 2 weeks ago before we played Wake Forest, without any restrictions. And so we'll see how it goes from there.
And if I may, when you play Navy, when you play Air Force, you're facing similar schools. Tell me about the importance of winning the CIC, but also performing well against these service academy rivals when it comes to recruiting and such.
All that matters is winning this game and trying to have a chance to play for the trophy. That's what's important. In terms of comparing schools and all that, I'll leave that to somebody else. I think we've got a tremendous institution. I consider West Point America's university. The prestige of this institution, the respect that it has around the world. It's the best leadership school in the world. We're very proud of that reputation, and I think it's deserved and it's been earned. As for the football programs that represent these institutions, I think all three academies have outstanding football programs, and so when it comes to recruiting, a lot of us are all three of us, I guess, are a lot of the same players. We recruit the same guys, and so I mean, winning matters, certainly. I think that makes a difference, but a lot of it is just what appeals to a particular guy, and sometimes it comes down to that, not who won the game or who didn't win the game or who has the trophy and who doesn't.
And last thing, during these military academy weeks, I'm sure you get a lot of support from all around the country and from the service. What's that like for you? I mean, do you kind of embrace it? Do you get a kick out of the spirit that goes into this?
I'm happy to be a part of this team and represent the men and women who serve in our United States Army. That's a reward that goes with this job that most coaches don't have an opportunity to be a part of. I mean, that's something I really enjoy, is being able to serve in this way and represent our Army in this way. I didn't serve, and so I think probably in my lifetime will have wished that I did, but I guess I consider this my opportunity to do that and to serve and to represent our men and women who fight for our freedom and serve us. So we get a lot of correspondence throughout the year, particularly during these CIC weeks. But I think what matters is the game, and the 11 guys that are going to take the field and play the first play, and the 11 that'll take the field every play after that, and how they perform. And I know that our guys, they have a great sense of responsibility to represent our men and women who serve, and they're very proud to do so and wear the Army uniform.
Thank you, Jeff.
Do a last few for Coach Tom Shanahan.
Hi, Coach. Sorry if this question was already asked, but I've always thought, there's the Army-Navy game, and the Army Air Force and Navy Air Force games deserved a stage like this one's getting. Just your thoughts on playing on a different stage for this game.
Oh, I think it'll be fun for our players. I like playing at home. I don't think there's anything like playing in Michie Stadium. This is a historic stadium, and traditionally we played these games as a home and home series, and so I hope that'll continue. I like to be able to play these games at home. So the Army Navy game is a whole different deal, and it's the history of that game, and playing that game at stadiums around the country and in different venues has been a part of the history of that game. So I think that's different.
Okay, thanks, Coach.